Everybody, I'm going to turn that just a little bit. Yep, we're on the air on YouTube. I'm going to check the sound off my microphone, load it up. I can get rid of this keyboard now. Drop that out of there. Let me just check the live and we'll get ready to go real soon. Let's see. We're going to go to YouTube, make sure everything's working, make sure my microphone's working. Got all my mics on. I got them all on. So one time we had feedback back. So I always got to do this to get this thing up and running. There's the live 2024. Ooh, I'm right there. There it is. You got the repeal, the cellar. Let's make sure. Got them all on. So one time we had feedback back. So I always got to do this. All right. There we go. Up and running. There's the live 2024. Yep, we got it. Welcome, everyone. Please comment. Here we go. All right, so we are on there. I've got that going. We got a viewer, so it's better. Lately, for some reason, I don't know what YouTube's doing to me, but I'm trying. I'll just keep trying. I'm just gonna keep putting up there. We went from thousands of viewers to tens of viewers the last time. I'm checking this out. We're gonna get this thing going. Welcome everybody, YouTube and Facebook. That's all working really good. What I wanted to do is real quick go over our sponsors really quick for the people on YouTube and Facebook. Our sponsor, Whiskey Thief Distilling Company in Frankfort, Kentucky, and also they have a New Lou, Kentucky tasting room now just opened. It's a barrel pick all day, every day. I just can't stress enough. We talk about this all along. Ownership, staff, everybody's awesome. I mean, you get a tour at the one place, a tasting at the other. For the price of admission, you basically get to barrel pick sample from 5 different barrels. And you can just make sure which one you like. And if you pick one or two, you can bottle your own. 375, 750s, it doesn't matter. You walk out of there after obtaining a barrel pick. That's something that is very unique at distilleries, and here at Whiskey Thief, the way they do this is pretty awesome, giving you all the details and everything you need, and you get to Whiskey Thief your own bottle. The experience is unlike unlike anything else, and everybody there, the staff is so friendly. Hannah, and Derek, Kelly, we know them all there. The distilling and all throughout the whole process, fantastic. I'm going to be going down 2 times this December, and hopefully I get to their tasting room. We previewed it before it opened, and now I want to be there when it opens. Then we have the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana. Alan Bishop was the master distiller there. His stuff is still available. Those whiskeys are all there. Here at the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, if you're interested, I mean, they have Maddie Gladden and they've got Lee W. Sinclair there in the gift shop. But the Scotchy Bourbon Boys have 2 barrel picks, and if you're interested, just contact me. We have a Lillian Sinclair, which is a passion brand of Allen's, and it's the only part that he got to be a part of is our barrel pick. And then also we've got another William Dalton wheated bourbon barrel pick, and it is fantastic. So if you're interested, I'm going to be having a holiday special. We're getting ready to make the bourbon balls, so there you go. Now, Rosewood Bourbons and Rise, Jason Giles there down in Texas has produced and brought back a great brand, old brand, one that was highlighted in the Shawshank Redemption movie. It's the brand of whiskey that got Andy Dufresne framed for the murder that he was serving time for. And Jason's done a wonderful thing bringing it back. He takes Kentucky aged whiskey, Indiana aged whiskey, and he ships it on a semi 900 miles down to Houston, Texas, and ages it in one of their hot summers and at least one hot summer. And then he puts them out as single barrels, and then also a bourbon, a Kentucky straight bourbon or an Indiana straight bourbon, and ryes. So if you want to check that out, they're on Bourbon Outfitters. Check that out. And then also Alan Bishop, the spirit of who was the master distiller at Spirit of French Lick, is now the master distiller at Homestead Distillery on Patoka Lake at the Patoka Lake Winery, and then also the Homestead Distillery. And they also have a brewery. So what he's doing down there is kind of amazing, but Alan has his own thing. He has If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything podcast, where he combines all the eerie spiritual aspects of the world and he mixes it how it happens in the distilling world. So it's spirits on spirits. So check that out. If you have ghosts, you have everything. And then he also has his One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube. And if you have anything to do with home distilling or you're interested in the process of how distilling works, Alan shares everything he knows. He started out from the ground up. He understands the yeast process. He captures his own yeast. There's just everything on there. You have a question, he'll answer it. Check it out on YouTube, One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. All right, so I got all that covered for that. We're about to get the actual podcast started. There'll be a quick 30-second ad that you won't hear everybody live, and then you'll hear our theme song, and we will get ready to get going on this repeal day with cellar aged 2024 release of Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. All right, here we go. I'm going to start it. Drinking birdies, sipping on some scotch. We get a little wild, it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every room. Man, it's all sunshine, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raisins in hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We really have fun and we know enjoy. We're here to have fun. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to this Repeal Day podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Oh, for all you live people, we're here a little bit early, 7 p.m. So we should get some new people, some new blood. Normally start at 8:30 Eastern Standard. Tonight we're starting at 7 because we got a Green Bay Packer game against the Detroit Lions. And as a huge Green Bay Packer fan, I'm psyched up for this tonight. But I'm going to use this as prep. This is kind of like a tailgate party for me tonight. And Jugget, I think that's what his name, or let's see, what's it? Juggles? Jug Jug R. Hello, man. Hello on YouTube. Good to see you watching. Good to see Walker here. Hydroman's here. Got a bunch of people. This should be a lot of fun. The way that we usually work this is right now, I'm about to do some promotional stuff that I've been doing from day one. We are have been on. We're in our 6th year and our 6th season. And remember, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. You can get these beautiful Glencairns. You can get t-shirts, and also the bourbon balls should be getting made this weekend. So we will be putting those up. Plus, we're going to have a really cool special that we're going to be basically having our barrel picks with the Glencairn and bourbon balls, all for the holidays. So check that out sometime next week early. I'll be talking about it on the next podcast on Tuesday. But we're on all social media. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, plus all the major podcast formats, mainly iHeart, Apple, and Spotify, but everywhere else that you listen. And I thank everybody who listens everywhere else so much. But no matter where you're listening, where you're watching, remember, like, listen, comment, and subscribe, and then leave good feedback wherever you can, because that's very important. The more we are just getting on a roll, we're getting between 15 and 20,000 people listening a week to both our podcasts, and it's great. Weller 107 or Cellar Aged or Baker 7. That is what Joseph Booker asked. And I'm going to say at the moment, based off all that, they're all good. But the 2023 Cellar Aged for sure. But I will tell you, after I drink this, the 2023 Cellar Aged, at first I wasn't impressed, but after it sat for a good period of time, it became something that was so special that I was just jacked on it. So 2024, I think it started off way better. This has been sitting for about a month now since I picked it up I picked it up in September. So we're talking about October, November. So it's 2 months down. So this should be exactly where I want it to be tonight. So that's what we're doing with that. But also, we got a lot of good things coming up for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Next Thursday, a week from now, we will be having probably around 4 p.m. going live for sure on YouTube. If I could swing it on, not for sure on Facebook, if I could swing it on YouTube, I will. But we are going to be at Four Roses with Brent Elliott in the lab doing a live podcast. We're supposed to arrive at 3. Hopefully we're up and running and up on between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. Look for us to go live next Thursday with Brent Elliott. And then also, we are also then Friday, you're going to have a early morning, 10 a.m., between 10 and 11 would be my guess. We are going to be with Jolie Kasperzak and Alan Bishop at the Old Homestead Distillery in Patoka Lake, Indiana. But I want to tell the old Dale Bishop, I'm going to say, I'm saying prayers for you. He's going to be going in for hip replacement surgery. And I've just been, Dale is such he's a treasure to whiskey. He's a fantastic individual. He's Alan's father, and I wish him nothing but the best. So that's what we're going to be doing that morning. If all goes well on Wednesday with the surgery, that morning we will be there with Alan Bishop, and then that's just the whole weekend. We're going to be at Makers Mark and whatnot. So there's that. Plus we have our Scotchy Bourbon Boys Christmas party. Everybody remember, it's going to be at the Gervasi Still House at the Gervasi Vineyards and Resort here in Canton, Ohio. Everybody, if you're close, you're welcome. It's 7 p.m. Friday, January 27th. There's going to be a ton of stuff happening. There's going to be lots of great whiskey, bourbon, great people. The Scotchy Bourbon Boys, we got CT, Super Nash coming in from out of town, myself, Roxy, whiskey will be there. Haven't talked to, there's a lot of stuff you got to go through, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, if you're able to get to this area, and we have a lot of our fans, if you're able to come up to this area, make sure you get up here, because that is going to be an event, and there's a lot of people coming this year. We had a good turnout last year. It just seemed like there was a lot of people at that time. There was a virus going around, and even Roxy couldn't even attend. I ran that one by myself, and it was nowhere near as fun, but she should be fine and healthy this year, and we're going to be ready to go. So that's going to be a blast. Now, I'm sipping on right now because today is repeal day. So I wanted a quick go over, we'll dump this there, and I'm going to come over here. And for all you people on YouTube, I will read it for you. But the people on, and the people on Facebook, we will get this. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? Yep, that's it. Here we will share this screen. Here we're on share screen, right? It's right over here. Is that it? Yeah, we're sharing the screen. I hope you all can see that. Um, the the 13 years of prohibition were a dark time for the United States as the criminalization of alcohol led not only to the rise in civil delinquency and organized crime, but also to the loss of customs associated with the production, preparation, and consumption of alcohol. We celebrate Repeal Day because December 5th marks a return to the rich tradition of craft fermentation and distillation. The legitimacy of the American bartender as a contributor to the culinary arts and the responsible enjoyment of alcohol as a sacred social custom. Conveniently located halfway between Thanksgiving and Christmas at a time when most Americans are probably not spending time with family, Repeal Day presents a wonderful occasion to get together with friends and pay tribute to our constitutional rights. We have the constitutional ability to do so. Unlike St. Patrick's Day or Cinco de Mayo, Repeal Day is a day that all Americans have a part in observing because it is written in our Constitution. No other holiday celebrates the laws that guarantee our rights, and Repeal Day has everything to do with our personal pleasure. So, this day, when they finally repealed prohibition, I mean, they put nobody ever says it, but prohibition actually put us in the Great Depression. And there's so many things that distilling alcohol means to our culture and our society and our industries and our farmers. The original aspect of why we man distills alcohol is because after a crop, corn, wheat, when especially whiskey, when you're using the cereal grains, you grow it, and only so much of it can be consumed before it starts to get moldy and rot. So the farmers could get all their stuff to market, and if they didn't sell it all, what they would do is distill it. Not only then, when you distill the grains, the amount of space it takes to store it is reduced greatly. So then it can also, and in the early days, was used as currency. They would trade their whiskey for seeds with the, there was all different ways of what they were doing, and it was very important. And it was very important to the United States in 1916, and then leading up to 1920 when prohibition started. The farmers didn't have to grow crops. There was a 13-year barrel producing. You didn't have to produce the barrels to put the whiskey in. I mean, there was so much that was that evolved from this, and so Prohibition Day is always kind of special because it reestablished uh, the ability of the government to regulate how much is being produced. It also established the ability to build back up the proper way so everybody wasn't just getting shit faced in the street. So Prohibition is a really kind of a cool day. We celebrate it. And I'm going to go back quickly to stop sharing. It should be right. Where is it? Is it down here? Let's see. Oh my God. Usually it's just right here, right? I don't know. Let's see. Close. Is it enter full screen? No. I don't set up professional. Oh, come on. Where is this? the sharing button. Holy crap. That's usually not a problem. I haven't ever had a problem stopping sharing, but I'm having the problem right now. I don't see it. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see. Enter full screen. Oh, there it is. Stop sharing. There. Sorry, folks. That was you can see me now. Let's see. Can't get my hands on it. Okay, he was looking for cellar age. Coming down. All right. So, all right. So that's the I'm actually drinking this special repeal batch that Jim Beam made a couple years ago. Very I find it delicious. It's a straightforward drinking man's bourbon, and it was made in the honor of how whiskey was being made at the time of repeal. And so, cheers to that. All right. So there's another aspect of what's about to happen is that I just wanted, before we start the cellar age barrel bashing, is that bourbon and whiskey has so much to do with friendship. I want to say that, let's see, he's on. All right. Where would I go for this? I should go. Nope, I'm just going to leave that around. But I might be able to do it here. Just let me see. Messenger. I'm looking for it. We'll go over here. Nope. I'm not even able to do it on that. I probably can do it right here, though. Go over here. I just got something right here. Lillian Sinclair. Oh, I went down here. Everybody I saved to. Andrew Lucas. There you go. Andrew just contacted me on Facebook, and he basically, one of the cool things that he did was he's like, I really love the Bardstown Bourbon Company 12th Discovery Series 12. And he's like, I want to send you a sample because I think it's bourbon of the year. And I'm like, send me a sample, please. So today it arrived. So we will be talking about this Discovery Series 12, batch 12 from Bardstown next week sometime with Super Nash and me. We're going to talk about it. The Bardstown collection is fantastic. I mean, I've had so many good ones, but this is 115.2 proof, 57.6%, and I'll have some details on it. But I really kind of like love the bottle that he put it in. It says barrel proof. You get this, and it's just a sample. This is just an example of how amazing. Are we paused here? Oh, damn. What happened? Okay, so that's crazy. All right, so I just wanted to make sure we weren't paused. All right, it seems like we're not. I brought that out. We're back running. All right, so I don't like to have any technical problems, and so far it's not. But you know what? What I will say is, it seems like I'm expecting them, and none are happening, but I'm making them up. So I thank everybody for coming tonight and watching. So that's just what I wanted to say. Whiskey, again, I like to stress this. Whiskey's the glue that leads everybody together to be friends and meet new people, and the social aspect of the importance of the distilled beverage in just society, but in my life. Ever since I started doing this, I've made more friends that I consider real friends. People and everybody, it just transcends everything. All the bullshit is left out when you can have a pour with anybody. And I firmly believe that. And it's so, people you acquire so much, so you want to share it with people. So you find yourself sharing it in a lot of places you didn't think that you might ever share it. And it's just a fantastic culture to be in. And I love being in this culture. I love being able to do this. I love making a little bit of, we're starting to make a little bit of money off of it, but we really appreciate all of you watching and supporting us. And as we go further, I'm going to be doing this a little, just keep doing this a little bit more and more professional as we go along. I feel like I got my feet under myself. It's growing at a rate where at first I thought it was too fast, but I don't think it's too fast. I think I've caught up to it. So let's hopefully make it grow too fast. I would like that to happen. That would be really cool. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, we got Matt coming on. Thanks for coming on tonight. And we got, you feel free to comment. I'm paying attention to all the comments. Same thing on YouTube. Really appreciate it. That was that must have been my shadow freaking me out. So anyways, I'm going to finish up in a couple, I'm shooting for about a 45-minute podcast, so we'll see what happens. But that means we're about to get to the cellar age. I've got my, I don't got a Scotchy Bourbon Boys Glencairn tonight because a lot are dirty, but I also got my Maker's Mark Glencairn here. And I'm going to get ready to do the Old Louisville Whiskey Company, which Amin down at Old Louisville, if you get a chance, just look it up. The Old Louisville Whiskey Company. He is right in the Old Louisville area. You got to stop by, see him. He's got so much going on there. It's such a great experience, and he's such a knowledgeable person about bourbon and whiskey, and he likes to have good times with everybody. So you need to stop by, and if you do stop by, tell him that Tiny of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and CT and Supernash sent you, that you heard about us and you wanted to check us out, because that would be very important. He would love to know that what he's doing here is working. So this is the Old Louisville Whiskey Company barrel bashing segment of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. The barrel bashing rating system consists of 4 different categories: nose, body, taste, and finish. Those 4 categories have evolved as we went through. They used to have equal importance, but we decided as we went along that the nose and the body can have a total score of up to 4 barrel bashes. And then the taste and the finish can have a final score of 5 barrel bashes each. And if you find one category exceptional, then you then can give what we call a but up. It evolved from that, folks. And if you give it a but up, that means you could give a 5 a 6, and you can give a 4 a 5. So that's if each category, and you're only allowed to give one. But I'm here to say that I broke the rules before, much to other people's thing. But when you run your own podcast, if you want to give 2 but ups, you can. So this cellar aged, and once again, I can go here because I'm going to let's share the screen and I'll read it to everybody. Share. Back up here. I'm going to hit share. We're going to have the repeal up, I believe. Oh, what happened? Nope. Yes. Well, that's wild turkey. That is wrong. So we'll go back to here. Stop share. Come back over here, share, and Jimmy Russ. There it is. Hit share. No, I should. Why does it keep doing that? That is wrong. All right, stop sharing. I'm about to just stop share. Try it one more time, folks. Oh my God. So that says Safari repeal. It doesn't say Jimmy Russell's Safari. Click. It's right there. One more time. Nope, that's not working. Or is it here? Let's see. Nope. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm just going to go back here. I don't believe that's even, let's see what that was. Yeah, I don't believe that should even be there. I should have my other, oh, well, I had the cellar aged with all the, that sucks. All right, I had all the different, I had even the mash bill and everything, and all of a sudden it's the cellar aged. I know it's 70% corn, 12% red winter wheat, which gives you 70, 82, which then gives you 70% corn. I gotta look. I'll look it up, folks. I will just get a new window. I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. File, Safari, file, new window. We'll hit new window, and we'll just, I should, when I do this, when I type this in, actually, it should give me, yeah, Cellar Age Makers Mark. Now I should be able to go to, where did I go? The whiskey study. Oh, well, so I know it's aged. Yes. All right. So it's aged between 12. It's got 12 and 15 years, and it's so 15% is aged 12 years this time, and 85% is aged 13 years. It's 59.65 ABV, and it is it was in a new oak, and it has the normal. No, they're not going to give me the mash bill here, or are they? Final thoughts. They thought this year was a little bit oaky at this place, and this place was the whiskey study. So I'll go off of that. And the price is right around 175, 180 right there. And let's go. I think I have to just go back here and type in Maker's Mark mash bill, which that's the one. There it is. Maker's Mark. Okay, so it's 70% corn, 16% soft red winter wheat, and 14% malted barley. That's what it is. Now, the cool thing about this is that is we're talking about a 12. I think that's what it was saying. We're going to go back right here again to the whiskey study. Everybody, we're talking about, once again, 15% 12-year Maker's Mark and 85% 13-year Maker's Mark. Now, the cool part about that is, and I just want everybody to know, the coolest part about that is, for the longest time, thank you, Andrew. That was very appreciative of you. Let's get this out now that I'm done with all that. For the longest time, when I was watching lots and lots of videos of Fred Minnick and also talking with Steve Coombs, everybody always talked about, because Maker's Mark for the longest time was just Maker's Mark. They didn't do anything else. They just made that. They made the proof was always the same, and they came out, and when everybody was responding, they started to respond with different expressions, like the private select that they do with. They came up with the oak staves, the French oak staves, and the different staves, and the toasted staves, and that private select and Maker's 46 came about. That's what they decided, those staves, when they added them and they kept it a bourbon process, that would be Maker's 46. But it had so many different flavors, they came out with the private selection. And then they came out with barrel proof. And when they came out with, I believe, cast strength is what it's called, Maker's Mark cast strength, everybody kind of was like, oh, now that's pretty damn good. But everybody wanted further aged Maker's Mark. And because it's a weeded bourbon, and because it's weeded, what's happening with Pappy and Pappy Van Winkle and the Wellers when they got to be 12 years old, there were some spectacular things, but Maker's Mark for the longest time wouldn't do it until cellar aged. Now, cellar aged is they take Maker's Mark and they put it in their cellars that are on the property. The barrels are in there. It's a little bit more controlled atmosphere than what's happening in their rick houses. So the rick houses are heat and going crazy, but they put them in those cellars and let them go to 12, 13, 14, 15 years, whichever they're doing the 12 and 13 this year with the 85% 13. And that slows the ability as far as the oak getting in there. And so last year it was fantastic. I mean, but at first when I first tried it at Bourbon Festival, but then when Walker got it to me, I think I ended up drinking a whole bottle of it. It was just so good. And so now that this has been sitting for 2 months since it's been open, I am going to try it. So it's let's get into this. This is cellar aged 2024 release of Maker's Mark. And I'm getting ready for this Packer game, which is going to be starting at 8:15, but hopefully we'll finish up in a little bit. But this barrel bashing, we've already went through the thing. I've got my barrel bash and I've got my barrel over here. So let's give this a nose. It's spectacular, folks. It's caramel, but what kind? There's a little bit of ethanol in there, but the caramel is so strong. It's almost like a caramel liqueur. It's so sweet on the nose. There's some cherry, cola, just okay. It's so we're talking about maybe a butters. No. Caramel corn. There's so many different good flavors. I mean, that nose is freaking spectacular. I wish that uh Walker was here, because if Walker was here and he was drinking it or smelling it, he would have to agree. It's right up there with the 2023 as far as nose now. I think it's one of the most exceptional noses I've ever smelt. Oh God, it's so good. It's like I have certain things. One, I'll tell you, Starbucks coffee, breakfast blend. It's coffee's really good, but if you take that and it's ground in the package and you just squeeze the air out of the package and you just inhale what's there, it hits a thing in my nose that just is so right. It's just like it hits all, like you're playing pinball and you hit every single bumper and thing and you get a jackpot and everything all at once. That's kind of what this nose is like as far as what you want to do. You just want to keep smelling it all night long. It's just very, very, very it's awesome. Then what's going on in this glass? Let's take a look. The thickness of it. I mean, we're talking about the proof on this is almost 120, 59.65. So that's going to be 118, 119. I'm going to take a look to see what it says. It has to be on here. So I'll put that on. It is 119.3 proof. It's about as close as you can get to 120 as you can. And that's just unheard of for Maker's Mark. I mean, I understand all the private selects, but this is just Makers. And it's not staved or whatever. This is their distillate. And everything I heard, like I said, everything I heard, it was fantastic. So what happens in there are thick. They go thick and they come down and they stick for a little bit. I got fingers tonight. I had a lot of fingerprints on this one. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to complain. That's fantastic. Just watching it, it's like yeah, there you go. I don't know what to say. All right. So we know the body's got some decent body. Way I rate body, nose is obvious. When you're nosing something, everybody can. Now I like to nose at the bottom and then come to the top. And that because I will get different flavors down here. Oh, there's something in there. Almost at the top, it's spectacular too. All right. So way I do body though is I rate body not based off of taste. Taste is its own thing. Body is how much flavor fills your mouth. So you got taste receptors, tongue, front tongue, sweet. You got the mid palate and the back palate. Then you got the roof of your mouth, and then under your tongue, because I like to pool, whatever, and then also your cheeks. So a full body four, you got to get into the cheeks along with the root. It's got to be the flavor's got to be. It can't be specifically. So, and it doesn't have to be good because you can have a crappy bourbon that completely has an insane body. So here goes. Wow. Okay, let's try that again. I will say this is totally settling down. It's better when I tasted it from before. It's fantastic. The heat on this is nice. Got a nice hug. And so there you go. So let's take a. All right. So I'm going to start off with the 2-4 categories. I have to give this on the nose. It's even picking up some cinnamon now. I'm going to give this on the nose a 4. Now, I would say I wanted initially to give it a butt up, but the nose kind of calmed down. So it went back to a 4. What do we got? Nice, nice. Cheers to Swapno. Cheers, man. All right, I agree with the 4. It's really good, but it's kind of calmed down from what that first initial was. And so in the glass, it's still really good. There's caramel, but there's almost like a cinnamony thing and whatever going on and a little spicy thing that just makes it a 4. It doesn't make it exceptional. Now, as far as the body goes, this is a wheated bourbon. Wheated bourbons are designed to be easy. It's barrel strength. It's easy as hell. But part of being easy means that the spice isn't going to be overpowering. And it barely touches my cheeks, but everywhere else flavor fills you underneath, top, whatever, but it barely touches my cheeks. So I'm going to say to get that 4, you got to like get in there. And so I will give this body a 3. Now, from the barrel bashing, now we go to the taste. And there's so many different bourbons, and I love bourbon. And this is one category. Oh, again. Oh, it's so good. I don't think it's as caramely. There's a little bit more cinnamon toast on here. It's like a toasted cinnamon along with the caramel on the front, but it's a toasted cinnamon. When I first drank this on my palate, at one point, I got a vanilla ice cream sundae. It's creamy. But now, as it's been in here a little bit more, let's see if I could change it because I'm having some more of this. As it's been in here a little more, it seems to have picked up the oak toast. That's interesting what it does. I mean, I find wheated bourbons do this all the time. It's spectacular. The taste, I'm going to give a 5. All right. I guess that red winter wheat really gets you that toasted flavor, but I like Maker's Mark. I mean, Maker's Mark is a spectacular straight bourbon. I mean, it's standard on the shelf, comes up caramely and rich, unlike any other standard bourbon. I mean, I love Jim Beam too, but Jim Beam deals in not caramel, deals in that bourbon flavor. This is the ultimate dessert bourbon. And so we're sitting right here at a total of 7 plus 5, 12, and we can give it another 5 if we want, but I'm going to see. It's so delicious. This one, I mean, it's worth the price. I'll give you that. Now I'm picking up, as we keep going, there's a little bit more oak happening on the back palate. I would say that the finish on this one, for being a 12 and 13 year, which I always find on wheateds, that it's rough on those aged ones. One, you don't want too much oak. There's not too much oak. There's enough oak. And you have an oaky finish, but there's a little bit of just a little bit of bitterness to the oak, the wood, those wood tannins. And I would say, I'm going to say, welcome, Joey. Maker's Mark is fantastic. The cellar aged is unbelievable. We're about to give it its final rating. I'm going to give this, it's just not long enough for a 5, and it's got a little bit of the bitter. So I'm going to give this a 4. So what that does is give the Maker's Mark, and I'll tell you this Super Nash. It's 16 out of 18, which is a fantastic score. I think last year's was a little bit more caramely. So I think that might have brought, I think last year's 2023 probably would have got a butt up in taste. So I think that would have been a 17 out of 18. And I'm not sure about, I don't remember barrel bashing it at all because I didn't have it. And then I drank it too fast, Walker. I might have done it, whatever. But the 2024 version still can sit a little bit longer, because what you'll know is that anytime you drink a wheated bourbon, you want to let them sit a little bit longer and go from there. Now, we're a couple minutes away. So the total score of this is 16 out of 18. Super Nash, if when you watch that, write that down. We rate on the Old Louisville barrel bashing segment of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Cellar, Maker's Mark Cellar aged 2024 release, 119.3 proof, 70% corn, 16 red winter wheat, and 14 barley. We rated a 16 out of 18. So there you go on that. Now, the Green Bay Packers are playing 8:15. We're almost getting there. We got a couple more minutes here to burn. And one of the things I've been doing the last couple games, Antonio Freeman was special to me growing up because he was part of the Green Bay Packers when they finally returned to the Super Bowl. That year, he broke his arm. That year, Antonio Freeman, I got to meet him the first time at a signing. I asked him a question and he was very snarky. I asked him a question. He's like, duh. He gave me that. And I felt, but it was cool meeting him. I mean, to meet him, now, but now you advance, 1996 all the way to 2024. We're talking about 28 years later. And then to be able to meet him in the whiskey industry and him to produce his own 86. And this one is signed by him, and it's signed by the Luca, and it's a Luca Mariano, and he's part of an ambassador for Luca Mariano. But this is Antonio Freeman 86. It is a high rye bourbon, but it is 86 proof and $86. And I bought this bottle. I've actually bought 3 bottles and drank the first one that wasn't signed. I'm into this one this year, but he signed it in Antonio Freeman 86. It's fantastic. Antonio, you're fantastic. Your love of whiskey and the fact that you're still out there and part of my life, it's really kind of cool as far as what you mean as far as a Packer and what you did on that field to get to where you were, even in the second Super Bowl, catching that first Super Bowl pass. Really kind of an awesome thing. But I also have another bottle right up here. And it means so much to me because Brett Favre called Antonio Free. In his interviews, when he was talking, he always said, Free did this, Free did that. And me and Randy Press, El Presidente of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and president of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, we both grew up in Wisconsin and loved Antonio. And now that we've got to meet him, but we both knew that he called Favre Free and we talked about it. So when I went up to get my other bottle signed, I asked him to sign it too tiny from Free. And that is the coolest thing. That bottle's going to stay there forever. But this year, the Antonio Freeman signed bottle, I am going to basically, because tonight the Packers are playing, I'm going to have a pour before every Packer game because for the last 3 Packer games, or actually San Francisco and Miami, I had this, me and Kate and Roxy opened this when we were at the San Francisco game in Lambeau. And last week before the game on Thanksgiving night on Thursday, I had a pour of it and they won. So tonight, I'm not going to break tradition. I'm going to get wow, that was pretty damn good, that cellar age, 16 of 18. I'm going to get my Crystal Glencairn. Last year's was more of a Baker's brown sugar, and this year's wasn't quite as sweet. I will give you that. Matt. But still, when you're talking about bourbons, now this is Antonio Freeman's, and I gotta, I'm gonna bring up Roxy a pour of the cellar aged, and I'm gonna bring up this. That's not enough. I'm gonna give a decent pour, and I'm gonna finish off tonight. But this is Luca Mariano. You're talking about Francesco Viola. They are advancing their newest. They've been producing on their still. They are going. I'm going to have to get down there soon. I didn't get to see Antonio this year, but Randy tells me he's still out there representing the brand, and it's fantastic. What this is a really cool thing. This particular bottle that he did with Jennifer Brandt is a very, very good bourbon. I think it's one of the better bourbons that and now just because I'm a Packer fan, I could be saying this, but when I drink this, this is my favorite Luca Mariano expression. So I'm hoping for many more, and hopefully Antonio will sign many more bottles for me. But I'm gonna just finish this up with Go Green Bay. Uh, I'm hoping. I have no disrespect for Detroit Lion fans. I understand you guys have not had a Super Bowl win, and you've been good. You know, you've got Barry Sanders, and you were good. But tonight, I'm cheering for the Green Bay Packers. But that doesn't mean that you're good or you're bad. We're going to have to see each other in the playoffs, or we're all going to have to get through the playoffs, because that's when the game means something. Tonight, if Detroit loses or Green Bay loses, it's going to be a well-fought game. And I think they're both ready, and this should be some damn good football on Thursday Night Football. And cheers. I'm going to do this. Antonio, I'll be drinking this, and it's good luck so far. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to take a sip. I like that one. There's like this chocolate mint finish on this. It's a very, very high rye bourbon, but it takes the aspects of bourbon, and it's like an Andes candy. It's really good. Jennifer, on this one, you and Antonio did a really good job. But so remember, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Glencairn's t-shirts and bourbon balls coming soon. Plus, we do barrel picks. Ask me about that. We're on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Check us out there. And then also all the podcast formats, mainly Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. Just remember, no matter where you're at, listen, comment, subscribe, and leave good feedback. And remember, good bourbon equals good times and good friends. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive, and live your life uncut and unfiltered. And little Steve-O is going to take us out.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die.
Oh. All right. So there we go. Let me really quick. I've got to do a lot of audio magic on this because it was just me. No minute, short pauses. Nope. Reduce background. Nope. Improve clarity. File. Publish to. I'll be here for a little bit for uploading, but it's almost 8:00. So, but I felt that was a cool podcast. Cellar aged podcast. Nope. We're going to put that to the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and hit save. All right. The first thing I got to do is go turn off all this shit because it's battery operated. And if I don't, all right, we're off air, but we're still on Facebook. There we go. We're still on Facebook. I'm going to blow out the. It smells so good in here. This candle, if you get to Heaven Hill, you guys, this is hey Andrew, cheers. But if you get to Heaven Hill, you need to buy this candle. This is the best candle I've ever smelled in my life. It is bourbon spice toddy. It's larceny bourbon spice toddy. I'm not going to tell you that I smell larceny on it, but it has a flavor that when you light it, it's just fantastic. I'll be down here and it won't be lit and I'll smell it. It's just the best candle that you can buy. So if you're at Heaven Hill, look for that candle. It's off. There we go. So cheers to everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube still. I would have to say YouTube, thank you so much. You guys were fantastic. It looks like we got decent amount of views after not getting it for a while. Starting at 7 p.m., I thought I didn't know what to expect, but you guys came through for me. Really appreciate it. And then everybody on YouTube, you guys, who jump in, and I understand tonight was a little bit early, but at the same time you guys were my tailgate party tonight on Facebook and YouTube. And if you get a chance, it's on Amazon Prime. I think if Amazon Prime is throughout the whole world, so know that Tiny is a huge Packer fan. I love to wear, I could take this one off. This one can go off. Let's see. Yep. That would be for the thing that I just saved, and it's saved. And I can turn this off. Yep. But I'm still on Facebook and YouTube. The sound, we need a party podcast. Our top 5 pours to share with friends and top 5 to drink while cutting videos. Hey, Matt, Tuesday, you come up with that sounds like a damn good party podcast. I said party. Just so you know, I wanted to be primed for tonight's Packer game, so I definitely am. And I'm going to be pouring my wife a decent pour. Roxy's got a minor cold, and she's been fighting it with really good bourbon, and it's been working. And we've done a podcast on the medicinal aspects of bourbon, and it 100% has medicinal aspects. There's no doubt. It was the only medicine on the planet until they invented penicillin. This is what they use for colds and coughs and everything. They used to use it as elixirs for like 50,000 different things. Yes, a hot toddy. If she needs a hot toddy, her favorite hot toddy, Matt, is seriously, this is messed up. She likes me to make her hot toddies with, to this day, it still blows my mind, with 15-year IW Harper. And it actually works. So you're right. I'll bring up the cellar age. Oh, I should drink some of that because she's not going to drink all of that. I agree, Matt. Exactly what you said. Not as sweet. And just so you know, when Walker comes up in for the Christmas party, he's bringing up the rest of the bottle of his 2023 cellar age, and he has promised me this. So we will have both. So it should be awesome. Black tea, lemon, and some Larceny barrel proof. She does lemon water, honey, and IW Harper 15-year. I should make her that. She would love that if I did that. Hey, hon. Nope, not there. Well, the game's going to start in 15 minutes, so I'm first going to end YouTube because I really am excited about it because we were up there, so I'm thinking we I don't think we're in the thousands, but who knows? Let's end this now. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. We will be back live at 8:30 Eastern Time next Tuesday, and Matt Leisen from Cleveland on the Rocks will be here with us.